Hi boys and girls, this is Miss Jones and I'm going to be reading a story to you today which happens to be one of my very favorites. I love this story because it reminds me of a child when I was growing up in the wonderful city of Pocomo. So, the title of the book today is called Bigmama and the author of the book is Donald Cruz. Donald Cruz actually grew up in New York City. He kind of had a hard life growing up, and once he got to be an adult, this was his dream job, to write books, children's books. So, here we go with Bigmama, and I hope you enjoy the story. Did you see her? Did you see Bigmama? We called our grandma Bigmama. Not that she was big, but she was Mama's mama. Every summer, we went to see her. Mama, my sisters, my brothers, and me. Daddy had to work. He'd come later. He'd take 3 whole days to get there, 2 nights and 3 days. Now, we were nearly there. Cottondale, Cottondale. Next stop, Cottondale, yelled the conductor to the people to the nearly empty train. Don't leave no babies on this train. He made the same joke year after year. My Uncle Slank came for us by car. We always hoped he'd come with the horse and wagon, but he never did. We crossed back over the train tracks, a turn or two along the red dirt road, and onto the lane in front of Bigmama's house. Bigmama and Big Papa were waiting for us on the porch. There were hugs and kisses and, oh my, how you've grown and how tall you are. Is this you? Then off with our shoes and socks. We wouldn't need them for much in the next few weeks. Now to see that nothing had changed, in the hall, the sewing machine that you had to pedal like a bicycle, the big clock over the fireplace, the wind-up record player, the kerosene lamps, and the Sears robot catalogs. Our room, my brother's and mine, and Uncle Slank's. Across the hall, the room where my sisters and Mama slept. Next to it, Bigmama and Big Papa's room. Then to the back porch. Off the porch were 3 rooms. The tiny room no bigger than the bed it was in. None of us wanted to sleep there alone. The dining room with the big round table and chairs. And next to it, the kitchen. On the porch was the washstand where we washed our hands, faces, and feet. At the end of the porch, well, there was the well. Don't fall in, we were told every year. No one ever did. We stood on tiptoe to watch the buckets go down and fill with water so that we could have a drink from the dipper that hung nearby. Everything was just the same. In the backyard was the chicken coop, where Sunday's dinner's chicken spent its last days. Behind the shed full of old stuff was the outhouse. Okay now, but scary in the dark. We stopped for a drink at the pump. We ran past the pear tree where the turkeys roosted at night. Under the tractor in front of the tool shed was a good place to look for nests with eggs in them. Next to the tool shed was a huge empty pot for making soup from sugarcane juice. I dug some worms from the big pile of cane pulp. Wigglers were the best kind for fishing. I chose a pole. The barn was another place to look for eggs. onto the stable to see Nancy and Maud. Maud was friendly, but Nancy was a biter. Down the path, past the cow pen and the pig pen to the pond. The flat-bottomed boat was still there. Plenty of water for fishing and swimming this year. Everything just as it should be. Excuse me. A fish! A fish! I got one! I got one! I yelled. Woo! Woo! The train whistled. It's dinner time! Everybody sitting around the table that filled the room. Bigmama, Big Papa, Uncle Slank, our cousins from down the road, and all of us. We talked about what we did last year. We talked about what we were going to do this year. We talked so much we hardly had time to eat. The night was jet black except for millions of stars. We could hardly sleep thinking about things to come. And that is the end. Now, this young man was a boy when he told this story. But as he wrote the story, he's getting older and older. So by the time the book was finished, the last thing that he said was, some nights, even now, I think that I might wake up in the morning and be at Bigmama's with the whole summer ahead of me. And that is Donald Cruz. And that is the end of the story. Boys and girls, I certainly hope you enjoyed this. And it'll be something for you and your parents to talk about at a later time. Thank you very much.